Hi, I'm Dana, and I think this video will hopefully be a little bit shorter than most of my recent ones, because rather than having something that's a whole big topic with 1,000 points, I want to zone in on one very specific thing. Because I keep hearing this in real life, I keep seeing it online, and it grates on me like nothing else. It really bothers me and it really annoys me. So this video sort of for neurotypicals that might say it to make you stop, while being relatable to my other autistic viewers and probably a lot of other neurodivergencies, I don't really know. But I really just want to go in on, we're all a little bit autistic. It's the #1 phrase around autism that just boils my blood. It really annoys me. I really have to like bite my tongue and clench my jaw to not be like, no we're not, shut up, because it really bothers me. And rather than get that aggressive with people and shout at them, I thought I'd make a video about it. The thing that annoys me with it, first of all, is just, maybe it's my autistic black and white thinking, but we're not. We're straight up not. We're not all a little bit autistic, otherwise you'd be able to be diagnosed as being autistic. In my opinion and my thought is that you're telling me we're all a little bit autistic because you relate to me in some way, and that's nice. It's nice to be able to relate to people, isn't it? But the thing is, you're relating to me, or whoever you've said it to, you're relating to the autistic person because we're human beings, we are people. You are relating to us on a human level as two people. If you're not autistic, you're not relating to that person due to them being autistic, due to the autism. You're relating to them because they're a person, and we relate to other people because we go through similar things or have similar experiences and similar thoughts. You're relating to them as a person. By telling me, oh, well, we're all a little bit autistic, you're not giving yourself a little bit of autism. You're taking away a little bit of my personhood and my humanity. You're acting like you can't relate to me as a person due to me being autistic, and that means you must also be a little bit autistic. And it's not the case. You're just relating to someone as a person because autistic people are people. #2, it's invalidating. I'm not sure if I numbered them, but it's really invalidating in certain situations. Because while in some of them it's taking away humanity and they're trying to bond and they're trying to relate and it's not actually really a negative per se, there's the other situations where it's used as a way of saying, well, we're all a bit autistic, you're just like the rest of us, deal with it. You know, it's very, very invalidating. You're being told that being autistic doesn't matter, it doesn't make any difference to your life and who you are, and you've just got to get over it. When in reality, being autistic means that I make a lot of choices in my life based around my sensory issues, based around how I'm going to feel about them due to being autistic. Lots and lots of my life is based on being autistic. You know, it's as if to say that my struggles and the things that I find difficult is on par with everyone else. And I'm just not being as good as everyone else. I'm just not as strong-willed and able to do things as everyone else, when that's not the case. Because we're not all a little bit autistic. Some of us are autistic and some of us aren't. And being autistic comes with issues that you won't face and won't understand if you're not autistic. As with all of my videos, I can only speak from my own personal experiences. But I know for sure that if everyone was a little bit autistic, which I'm going to get into that in a minute, but if everyone was a little bit autistic, my life would probably be a hell of a lot easier, because the people that I've surrounded myself with in the last couple of months, the last year, the people that I've enjoyed being around during my life have been other autistic people, have been people who are ADHD, it's been other neurodivergent people. If everyone was a little bit less neurotypical, I'd probably have a much easier time in life and I'd probably enjoy things a lot more. Point 3, was that I don't know when I started numbering them or if I actually did. So my next point, I would love to know what they mean by a little bit autistic. What is it? How are you a little bit autistic? I'm sorry, I'm starting to shout a little bit because it really annoys me. Okay, I understand that people understand autism as a spectrum. You're either up here on like super autistic or down here on a little bit autistic, but that's just not how it works. Any of us that have any slightly better understanding from the norm of understanding autism are aware that that's not how the spectrum works. So how are you a little bit autistic? Have you got lots of autistic traits, but they're all like really minor and like barely there? Have you just got one autistic trait? Because like, yeah, that's not autism then. You know, like, what is this little bit autistic? How do I get it? You know, it just shows such a lack of understanding, such a lack of knowledge, so much assumption of what they think they know. And I think that's what a lot of it is. It's a gigantic assumption that just isn't correct. You know, and it also makes me kind of defensive. I spend a lot of time in real life just trying to not be an asshole, I've realised lately. But it makes me kind of defensive as well, because I grew up knowing there was something different about me. You know, for the longest time I thought it was that there was something wrong with me, because I was clearly not like everyone else. And the more I struggled to try and fit in and be like everyone else, the more I seemed to fail at it. So for me, finding out I was autistic explained everything in regards to that. You know, it fully gave me an explanation of why I felt so different from everyone and why I felt like such an outsider from everyone else. And it, you know, it was really comforting. It really validated me in a lot of ways, and it made it a lot easier to be around people, because I know, oh, my brain works a little bit different. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad about that. My brain's just a little bit different, and I might not understand these people in the way they understand each other. They might not understand me in the way that I wish they did, or in the way that other neurodivergent people understand me. But that's okay, because I'm autistic and they're not, and I get it. So by saying, oh, well, actually, we're all a little bit autistic, it's like, oh, so what's actually wrong with me then? You know, I get defensive and very like, no, you're wrong, because otherwise it's very much like, well, what's actually wrong with me then? If we're all a little bit autistic and that's not the thing that's different about me, and not the thing that makes me feel like such an outsider and feel like I don't know what I'm doing in life and feel like I don't know who I am a lot of the time, you know, all of this bullshit that comes with being like diagnosed autistic. If it's not that I'm autistic and we're all a little bit autistic, what the fuck's wrong with me? You know, I don't get super caught up in that anymore, because I'm very settled into like being like, no, I am autistic. I've very much figured that out. But I was gonna say back in the day, I only got diagnosed like 3 years ago. But you know, like when I was still experiencing a lot of imposter syndrome and feeling like, what if I've been misdiagnosed? What if I'm actually not autistic? What if it's something else? What if it's this? What if it's that? Who am I really? When I was going through all of that, it sent me through like an absolute existential crisis every time I saw someone say or heard someone say, we're all a little bit autistic. Because like, well, what's wrong with me then? What else is there, essentially? But with all that being said, and not to get super dramatic, because I don't think it's the case every time. Obviously, whenever the phrase comes up, there's a lot of context and there's different situations that it's used in and different sentiments. You know, I'm not saying it is every time, but in a lot of ways, it does just feel like a way to sort of dehumanise us, I feel. But I just feel like it's, you know, it's such a short and simple sentence, and yet it comes with so much to it. Because it really does feel like they're so shocked and surprised a lot of the time to have been able to relate and possibly enjoy time around an autistic person, that it just must be that we're all a little bit autistic. And it's not that, you know, we relate on a human level, because autistic people are also, shockingly enough, people. Like, it just feels a bit dehumanising, and when it doesn't feel a bit dehumanising, it feels very invalidating or patronising, or like it's just another way of saying get over yourself and deal with it like everyone else does. And it's like, honey, I wish I could, but it turns out we're not all a little bit autistic. I am, and that makes some things really hard. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I hate the phrase. Please stop saying it, just for me. I don't care what anyone else thinks about it. Please stop saying that, just for me. But as it turns out, I actually do deeply care about what other people think. So if you wanted to leave me a comment, I would love that. I'd love to know what you think of this phrase, and I'd love to know what you think about what I've said I feel about it and how I think it comes across. Because I'm very aware that I could be being super dramatic by being like, you're dehumanising us. And you might completely disagree with my view on things. I'd love to hear about that too. I just like to have a discussion and hear people's opinions. If you've got any autism/neurodivergent related phrases that you also hate hearing, I would love to hear about that in the comments. I'm not going to do a whole video about like every phrase ever, but I might do another video including a couple. I just feel like this is quite a loaded phrase. There's quite a lot behind it and it pisses me off. I'll be honest, it pisses me off. I'm an easily annoyed person. The only thing that doesn't annoy me in life is my girlfriend. But I'm gonna go. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, day, afternoon, week, month, year. And I'll see you again in a couple of days.